Good morning. Welcome back to Blue Ridge Silverhound. I am your host today, Sean, your coin connoisseur. And we are going to talk about a really cool time in history. Well, cool for us, maybe not for those folks back then that were trying to get used to this transition in their coins. From 64 to 65, we saw the loss of the silver 90% composition coins, and then the transition into some brave new world in which we call the copper nickel clad coin era. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the most valuable coins to come out of the first year of the all copper nickel clad era, okay, except for the Lincoln cent, which is still a bronze copper cent. But before we get started, as always, if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe, hit the bell for instant notifications. I'm going to be doing giveaways all summer long. So we're going to be doing gift cards, silver, coins. We already had a few very successful and very fun giveaways to kick off this amazing educational summer program that I have going for you. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the topic at hand. Again, we're going to talk about 1965 coins that sell for a tremendous amount of money. Okay, I'm going to tell you what the buy-in is, what's involved, where can you find some of these coins, what's involved, and we're going to talk about some of the resources that you could leverage and utilize so that way if you wanted to jump in, okay, and buy, sell, grade these coins, you could do that with a little bit more confidence because you know exactly what's going on. So we're going to start in ascending order with the lowest denomination. Of course, you know, that would be the penny. We're going to talk about, you know, a little bit about the coin, the mintage, and everything of that nature. So the coin that you see on screen before you is the 1965 Lincoln cent. All right. Again, the Lincoln Memorial backed coin design has been around for a while, since '59 all the way up to 2008. So it's a design that we're all used to seeing. But typically, this particular date right here has remained unloved for many years because, again, it was mired at a point where silver was exiting the standard program of U.S. Mint coinage and transitioning over to the less favorable copper nickel clad. Okay, people saw these coins as being worth less, even though they had a face value to them. So the Lincoln cent that you see here, a ton of them were made. 1,497,224,900 coins were produced at the time. That is a bunch. Here's the caveat. Very little of these coins were ever preserved in the bright red, newly minted state. All right, so finding some that are in pretty good shape is few and far between. I could say this though, the highest grade ever taken care of by any of the third-party graders is Mint State 67 Plus Full Red, in which one exists at that grade. Now, seeing as how that particular example has never hit the open market, so we don't really have a price to go off of other than the PCGS price guide value. In which, in this case, it's $4,000. So that's the Lincoln cent there for you. All right, so I'm going to skip the nickel, okay, for a very specific and very special reason, because that coin is special in its own right. We're going to save that to the end. But let's go ahead and jump into the Roosevelt dime. Okay, this particular coin right here, again, just like the Lincoln cent, a bunch of these were made. At the same token, there is a low survival rate in those high mint state grades because people just didn't care enough about saving this coin because of the transition from silver to copper nickel clad. So 1,652,140,570 Roosevelt dimes were produced for 1965, and this is not including the special mint set coins which were available in those special mint sets at the time. Okay, so those aren't in the equation. The highest grade is by PCGS at a Mint State 68 with full bands or full torch. Okay, on the reverse of these coins, you're going to have a highly identifiable split on not only the top set of bands, but the bottom set of bands on the torch. Okay, so it has to be a nice clean line that goes all the way across. Grade-wise, there are only 3 that have graded 68 full torch. All right, and the highest recorded sale of this particular coin was back in March 2013 by Heritage Auctions in the amount of $3,819. And yeah, again, another tough date. Typically, we don't see clad coins, especially in the Roosevelt dime, command the kind of premiums that they do for those examples that hit those highest grades. So as far as a penny and a dime, your best bet is try and find a cache of these in which they are preserved in mint state. There are BU rolls to be had out there that you could pay a premium for and just kind of cherry pick some of those higher grade examples. It's tough, it's difficult, mostly in part because the US Mint didn't quite put enough care in the overall maintenance of the dies and just the overall quality QC process of these coins of the 1960s left a lot to be desired. All right, so that's why it's such a challenging outlet of coins to search through, is because of the sheer quality control issues and just, you know, again, that transition from silver to clad. Less people were bought into this type of coins, so they just spent it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the quarter. And in the case of the quarter, all right, still quite a few of them were produced. Okay, it was the year of mass production. 1,819,717,540 pieces were produced of the 1965 quarter. All right, if you're able to find the highest grade, keep in mind the top grade issued by any third-party grader is Mint State 67 Plus, in which 8 examples exist at that grade level. Now this coin right here, okay, is actually kind of the lowest price coin between this and the candy half dollar. The highest recorded sale of the 65 quarter was on Heritage Auctions back January 2017 in the amount of $2,585. All right, so and it drops off considerably if it doesn't hit that 67 plus grade. So if it was 67, you're talking about a coin that dips all the way down to about $100, $150. So again, with some of the other coins, you have a huge sharp decline from the top pop to the next grade level down. Even if it is just half a point, you got to keep in mind that there is an element of kind of risk, a little bit of gambling when you're going to submit these. So training your eyes to kind of identify those coins that have the cleanest surfaces is paramount in the success of flipping, grading, and, you know, just turning these coins over for any measurable amount of profit. It's been done before. There are people and collectors that do it for a living. It is extremely difficult, but it's, you know, it can be fruitful. All right. So let's go ahead and switch over to the half dollar, the candy half dollar in this case. In contrast to the other coins, okay, the mintage of the 65 half dollar is considerably less. Now keep in mind that they integrated a 40% silver composition planchet on all of these coins, so you still have a little bit of value in terms of its intrinsic value. Now, as far as the mintage, the U.S. Mint produced 65,879,366. So, you know, it's considerably less, but there's still quite a bit out there to fulfill the demand of collectors. The highest grade assigned of this coin is Mint State 67 Star through NGC. In PCGS, 67 is the top grade, and there are 25 that have graded at that level. In terms of a most recent sale, okay, that NGC 67 Star sold back May 8th, 2016, so it's been a few years, on Great Collections in the amount of $2,477.20. I feel like we haven't quite seen the ceiling on this coin. The first Mint State 68 example that does get graded and then subsequently moved on the secondary market could break all sorts of records. So what I wanted to do, and the reason why I left the Jefferson nickel last on the list, is that this coin is prohibitively rare in grades with full split bands, with full steps. Okay, if you turn the coin around and you looked at Monticello, all right, you're gonna need some of those sharply struck steps on the reverse. There are 6 lines that go across on those steps, and you need at least 5.5 full steps on the coin in order for it to grade out at that full steps designation. Now with the nickel, this one seems like it's lesser mintage, especially for a regular general circulating coin like the penny, the dime, and the quarter. At 136,131,380 pieces were produced, it seems like it's smaller. Again, the survival rate of this particular coin is very low in mint state grades, so keep that in mind. So the top grade with full steps is Mint State 66 through PCGS, in which only one example with full steps exists in both a 65 and 66. There are only 2 examples of this coin at that grade level. So here's the interesting part, and this is the big reason why I left this coin for last. There is one example, and the one example is that top grade 66 with full steps. It is actually available on Collector's Corner, which is a marketplace that's administrated by PCGS, for in an amount of $445,800. It's still for sale, which means that undoubtedly this is not the sale price, but I wanted to draw your attention to the potential value of such a coin as long as only one exists. Now, if more come out to the market, which it seems like it's very difficult considering there are only 2 coins with full steps, this could be a huge payday for someone tenacious enough to look at a ton of 1965 Mint State quarters. Again, if you're able to find some BU rolls or perhaps a mint bag, keep in mind, people are going to be selling these for an incredible premium. So it is not for the faint of heart, but as you can tell, the rewards can be absolutely astronomical in this case. So before I leave you here today, all right, first of all, I want to thank everyone for joining in on this fantastic broadcast. In 1965, of course, the U.S. made some errors. I have a few of them, a couple very noticeable and very well-known errors. All right, so the first one that we're going to start out with here is a 1965 Lincoln cent that was inadvertently struck on a dime planchet. Okay, and this is going to be a copper nickel clad dime planchet. So obviously it's not copper in appearance. This one was struck on a little bit smaller sized planchet in the dime, and this one right here sold on Great Collections, as a matter of fact, March 8th, 2015, in the amount of $377.30. And by the way, this is a PCGS Mint State 64 example. All right, so the next coin right here, another phenomenal error, is going to be a 1965 Roosevelt dime that was struck on an older 90% planchet, 90% silver planchet. Okay, these tend to come and go in the marketplace, and people do come across them in like coin roll hunting. Believe it or not, this is a case where one example was pulled out of change some time ago. This one was graded PCGS AU55, okay, about uncirculated, which indicates that this coin has seen quite a bit of handling in its day. This one sold on Great Collections May 10th of 2015 in the amount of $5,115. Whew, that is amazing. I need to find me one of those, if not 2 or 3. And finally, we're going to end it off on the same variant, only in a quarter form, okay? A 1965 Washington quarter that was struck inadvertently on maybe a leftover 90% silver planchet. Again, These were intended to be copper nickel clad. This one graded PCGS AU55, and this one sold on Great Collections back February 18th of 2018 in the amount of a cool $7,875. Bam, there you go. Tons of value to be had. Again, 1965 coins are not for the faint of heart, but it produces a whole wealth of various types of opportunity to go in, kind of like hone your craft in coins and being able to identify grade. All right, it produces a lot of challenge to beginning and seasoned numismatists alike. So I would encourage you to go ahead and check out 1965 US coins. Again, I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I want to thank everyone for all the views and support. Share, subscribe, giveaways all summer long. You're going to love it. You're going to want to know when they come up. You guys take care and have a wonderful day.